This time we're ready to begin our shows for this evening. Again, the Ramblets and the Monadales will enter at that north end of the show ring. The Monadales are going to come up that fenced chute that we've created, come in so we don't interfere with things going on behind the bleacher area. We want to remind folks that the 4C 100-year celebration, 100 years in the Southdown business, they're celebrating this year here at the North American. They're having a small reception back right behind the bleachers. They invite their friends and other folks to come back here and enjoy some refreshments and some reminiscing. We want to introduce our judges for our shows this evening. Judging our Ramblets is Ryan Craig of St. Joseph, Illinois. Ryan is the key account specialist for Rovinia Next. He and his family, that include Rachel, his wife, Brady, Dylan, and Caleb, their sons, raise Corriedale, natural colored, and now baby doll Southdowns. Ryan is a past president and director for the American Corriedale Association. He's current vice president of the Natural Colored Wool Growers Association and the current director of the Land of Lincoln Purebred Association of Illinois. Outside of livestock, Ryan enjoys coaching and volunteering in all of his children's sporting events. In the center, or up doing the baby doll Southdowns, is Alex Wolf, Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Alex and his family own and operate Wolf Brothers Livestock, where they raise natural colored and club lambs. Alex is a fifth-generation shepherd. He and his wife, Melissa, have 3 children that are all heavily involved in their operation. And doing the Monadales for your National Monadale Show is Evan Snyder. No, this is not Evan P. Snyder from Wonder Why Farms in Baldwin, Pennsylvania. This is Evan Snyder from Atglen, Pennsylvania, the farm manager at Macaulay, Suffolk. Evan is an amateur foodie who is always in search of the perfect cocktail. He also enjoys occasional Amish buggy races through the streets of Atglen. Go Pokes! Let's welcome our 3 judges this evening to the North American.
So we're down here in the Rambouillet ring. We've got 2 bucks to start out the class. I think the one I'm going to start with is probably the little more soundest when you come to its feet and legs and it gets to the ground. A little bit thicker and deeper when you get back behind those shoulders. Really appreciate the consistency in his feet from that shoulder all the way back through that bridge. We get back into this buck here in a second. Really appreciate the profile on this buck. Love the hips, love the hind saddle and the length. I just got to clean him up as he gets around the ring to be a little bit more competitive with the buck in front of him. But 2 nice bucks to start the class. Congratulations.
Placing on the Rambouillet class of yearling rams, first place goes to entry 3, Heggs Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana with Marshall, WM 3-94. Second place to entry 2, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Olla, North Carolina with Lazy 5, 8218. Placing on the Monadale Yearling Ram class, first place goes to entry 2, Mallory Corzat, Berwick, Illinois, with Corzat 2444. Second place to entry number 1, Lydia Letman, Waterloo, Illinois, with Letman 1642.
We've got a really interesting set of bucks that we're sorting through down here in the Ramble A side. I think the one that I'm going to start the class with is easily the biggest body cheap in the class. When you look at this thing, he's got 3 dimension to him. He's down square on his feet and legs. He's big ribbed. He's really clean fronted when he gets his extension out. Really, really like that rim. Really appreciate the fleece as well. The buck coming second. Really, really love the profile on this sheep. Man, does he look good when he's standing on his profile. I need to change him on his back wheels to get him any higher today. He just wants to pinch them a little bit more than I prefer, but a pretty buck. The 2 bucks that come here in third and fourth, really, really neat bucks in their style and their design and profile. I just got to change some of their fleeces up. Some of them's getting a little bit yellow. It's been a long season on them, and you can kind of see it's showing inside those fleeces. I really, really like this profile buck in third here. I think he's going to make a really neat stud buck. Love that front profile, but a really fun set of bucks to sort. Congratulations.
Over here on the baby dog.
For the Monadales, our senior champion goes to the senior Ram Lamb, Cody Jacobson. LeGrand, California, with Jacobson 2505. The reserve to the first place yearling Ram, Mallory Corzat. Berwick, Illinois, with Corzat 2444. Placing on the senior Ram Lambs for the Rambouillets, first place goes to entry 7, In-Body Brothers Rambouillets, Genera, Ohio, with In-Body F2461. Second place to entry number 4, Dwayne Bach, New York Mills, Minnesota, with Dewdrop Farm 2494. Third place to entry 6, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Ulla, North Carolina, and fourth place to entry 5, Vivian Stephenson. Placing on the yearling Ram class for the Baby Doll Southdowns. First place goes to entry number 5, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Olla, North Carolina, with Big Woods Donkers 618, Oregon. Second place to entry 3, Jovi Meisner, Ransom, Illinois, with Wooly Nelson 68120155. And third to Alfred McDaniel, Thorndale, Texas. Placing on the Fall Ram Lamb class for the South Downs, first place to entry 8, Harper Nichols, Jerseyville, Illinois, with Milroy Express, MT3730. Second to entry 7, Gary Eckmeyer, Pipestone, Minnesota, with Elmdale Farm, SD4872. And third place to entry 6, Joe Meisner, Ransom, Illinois.
We have some different pieces and parts down here in the Rambouillet Buck Lamb class, the young division. I think the buck we're going to start with is, for me, when I start looking at the 3, easily the most complete, easily the stylist one of the one. When she gets his head up, he's really, really profiled sheep, and he wins this class easily to me when it comes to the fleece. When you open up that fleece, it's nice, it's clean, it's got the nicest, densest feel to it. I really appreciate about him. My buck in second's my thicker, bigger buck. So I think he's got some age on this buck compared to the buck in first place. Really, really appreciate that profile. Really appreciate the way he sits down on those 4 feet and legs. But he's going to fit in second for me today. Buck in third, I just got to clean him up around that top line. He's just a little bit roaches his back. He wants to get up underneath himself. But really appreciate this buck when you part that fleece. Man, from front to back, it's pretty, it's lustrous, it's a nice fleece to look at. Congratulations.
For the Ramboulets, placing on the Junior Ram Lamb class, first place to entry number 8, Jared Connor, South Bloomfield, Ohio, with UNI 0886. Second place to entry 10, In-Body Brothers, Ramboulets, Genera, Ohio, with In-Body 2502. Third place to entry 9, Heggs Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana. Placing on the pair of Ram Lambs, first to entry 11, In-Body Brothers, Ramboulets, Genera, Ohio. Second to entry 12, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Olla, North Carolina. Placing on the Baby Doll Southdown Winter Ram Lamb class, first to entry 10, Knox Heffelfinger, Patoka, Indiana, with Hot Shot Sid, 9449. Second place to 13, Harper Nichols, Jerseyville, Illinois, with Nichols Blackie, 2073. And third to entry 12, Gary Eckmeyer, Pipestone, Minnesota.
Here in the championship drive here in the Ram Belay division, I think we've got 6 Rams that do a good job of representing their breed. I think when you look at each one of these fleeces, they're very adequate, and some of them are really, really good for this breed and what you're looking for. In that combination of looking for fleece and looking for style, I think there's 2 that hit me in class, and I'll go out and congratulate your champion, reserve champion Ram here at the North American.
For our Ramblay show, our champion ram goes to entry number 7 out of the senior ram lamb class, In-Body Brothers Ramblays, Genera, Ohio, with In-Body F2461. The reserve champion to the second place animal in that senior ram lamb class, entry 4, Dwayne Bauk, New York Mills, Minnesota, with Dewdrop Farm, 2494. Now ready to move into yearling ewes. Placing on the Monadale January Ram Lamb class, first place to entry number 9, Greg Miller, Bruce, South Dakota, with Miller M5-10. Second place to entry number 8, Easton Novak, Rolling Prairie, Indiana, with Riley K2520. Third place to entry 10, Easton Novak, Rolling Prairie, Indiana. Exhibitors, whenever you come into the ring, please wear your current number. One of you exhibitors that are showing those animals. That way the videographers can get your name online and give you proper credit in the show ring. They use a catalog just like the rest of us do, and those exhibitor numbers are very important to identifying you. Placing on the Monadale class of February and later born Ram Lambs, first place goes to entry number 15. Kuykendall Monadale's Richland Center, Wisconsin, with Kuykendall 1270. Second place to entry 14, Kuykendall Monadale's, with Kuykendall 1377. Third place to entry number 13, Andrew Slack, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Fourth to 16, Mallory Corzat, Berwick, Illinois. 5 to 17, Lydia Lutman, Waterloo, Illinois. 6 to entry 12, Mallory Corzat, Berwick, Illinois. And 7 to entry number 11, Luke Lutman, Waterloo, Illinois.
We've got a really robust yearling ewe that we're going to start the class with. Man, when you talk about depth and body in a female and a brood ewe and what you're looking for, the capacity that this female carries, I just think is really impressive. Not alone just the depth and width, but man, when you get on top of this female, she's easily the widest hipped one in the class. She's tallest at the shoulders, and she still gets around probably the smoothest and most elegant around the show ring. You in second, kind of my troubled you. Wants to roach her back a little bit. You get her on the go and you get her set in motion. But man, when she gets her head set right, she's actually straight and narrow. She looks really good underneath that fleece too. I mean, that's consistent from shoulder to bridge. Nice, clean. It's a really, really fancy fleece, really dense fleece that you appreciate. You in third, real boxy kind of hip female. I really kind of make her a little bit more feminine up through that front 1/3. Appreciate the elegance that she has on those feet and legs as she gets around the show ring too. But to me, she just kind of loses that consistency in the fleece to really get ahead of her today. Really, really pretty profiled ewe here in fourth. Man, I like this female. I like her design on the profile. I just got to rip her apart and make her a little bit bigger, a little bit wider in that rib cage. Very consistent, nice fleece in that point. But man, she to me, she's got the nice angles and stuff. She's got to get a little bit more size and capacity and depth on her. You in fifth, she's just the opposite to you in fourth. She has that depth, she has that capacity. She just needs to get a little bit cleaner up through that front 1/3 for me to move her any higher today. But a really fun set of yearlings to sort through. Congratulations.
For the Monadales, the junior champion goes to the first place in the February and later class. Entry 15, Kuykendall Monadales, Richland Center, Wisconsin, with Kuykendall 1270. The reserve champion was first place in the January Ram Lamb class. Entry 9, Greg Miller, Bruce, South Dakota, with Miller M5-1. Placing on the yearling ewes for the Rambouillets, placing on the pair of Monadale Ram Lambs, first place went to entry 60, Kuykendall Monadale's, Richland Center, Wisconsin. Second to Cody Jacobson, LeGrand, California. Third to entry 19, Mallory Corzat, Berwick, Illinois. And 4 to 18, Easton Novak, Rolling Prairie, Indiana. For the Rambouillets, placing on the yearling U class, first place goes to entry 19, Dwayne Bach, New York Mills, Minnesota, with Dewdrop Farm 2445. Second to 16, Jared Connor, South Bloomfield, Ohio, with U&I Livestock 0778. Third place to entry number 24, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Ulla, North Carolina. Fourth place to entry 20, also Vivian Stephenson. Fifth place to 22, Embody Brothers, Rambouillets, Genera, Ohio. Sixth place to 18, Embody Brothers, Rambouillets. Seventh place to entry 21, Heggs Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana. And 8 to entry 17, also Heggs Crazy H Club Lambs. placing on the Rambouillet pair of yearling ewes. First place to Vivian Stephenson, Mount Ola, North Carolina. Second, Embody Brothers Rambouillets, Genera, Ohio. And third to Haig's Crazy H Club Lambs of Jordan, Montana. Placing on the Baby Doll Southdown Spring Ram Lamb class, first to 21, Knox Heffelfinger, Patoka, Indiana, with Perfect Storm, 7-11. Second place to entry 16, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Ola, North Carolina, with Lazy 5, 7-9-1-8. Third to 18, Riley Donkers, Firebolt, Minnesota. Fourth place to 19, Harper Nichols, Jerseyville, Illinois. Fifth to 22, Riley Donkers, Firebolt, Minnesota. Sixth place to 23, Hadley, Kinley, and Knox Paulus, West Milton, Ohio. Seventh to 87, Mackenzie Mag, Ottawa, Ohio. And eighth to 90, Madeline Mag, Ottawa, Ohio. Ninth place to 17, Alfred McDaniel, Thorndale, Texas. For our Baby Doll Southdowns, our champion ram goes to the first place animal out of the Spring Ram Lamb class, entry 21, Knox Heffelfinger, Patoka, Indiana, with Perfect Storm, 7-11. Reserve champion to entry 10, Knox Heffelfinger, Patoka, Indiana, with Hotshot Sid, 94.49 out of the Winter Ram Lamb class. For our Monadale show, our champion ram was entry 15, our junior champion ram, out of the February and later Ram Lamb class, Kuykendall Monadales, Richland Center, Wisconsin, with Kuykendall 1270. The reserve champion was our reserve junior champion out of the January Ram Lamb class, entry 9, Greg Miller, Bruce, South Dakota, with Miller M5-10.
Well, we have a lot of pieces and parts here in the fall ULAM class, and we got a little roller coaster as you stand on the outside looking in here, and there's the one I think when you start putting some things together, I think structure-wise, body-wise, she's wanting to roach a little bit on you. When you get your hands on this female, she's the thickest top, one of the top two pair here. She gets around the room, the ring a little bit smoother. I'd like to soften her up in that face, make her look a little bit softer in that color. But to me, when you look at that fleece, it's really, really consistent from that front to back. It's where she kind of comes to the head for me. The U here in second, I think is the soundest one of the top three here. When you put them in motion, she's the one that gets them going in the right directions. You greatly appreciate that. I just need to make her a little bit softer through that front end. I think she's a little deep-sided right now. I'd like to make her a little bit bigger boned. But man, really appreciate the density and the fleece that she brings to you. The outlier uses you here in third. Man, when she profiles, she's just a beast. She's big, she's rugged, she's bold. But man, when she gets out on that go, she wants to go down on those front pasterns. She wants to pinch those back wheels. If I could change her motion around the show ring, she could move her up to the top really, really easy. We get into a couple ewes here in fourth and fifth. Really like the size and structure and the growth pattern on ewes four. I think it's ewe in fourth. I think she's going to be a big female next year. I think her fleece is just a little color to her. It's hard to get a good read on it tonight in the show ring with the glare and everything. But a really fancy female in her own right. Really, really like the ewe in fourth. If I could just pick that, or fifth, if I could pick her dock up a little bit, straighten out those back wheels and get those legs going the right direction, I think we got a pretty neat female. But really, really nice set of females to sort through. Congratulations.
Over here on the baby doll.
Placing on the Ramblay Senior ULAM class, first place goes to entry number 28, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Olla, North Carolina, with Lazy 5, 8258. Second place to entry number 33, Inbody Brothers, Ramblays, Genera, Ohio, with Inbody F2465. Third place to 30, Dwayne Bauk, New York Mills, Minnesota. Fourth place to 29, Jared Connor, South Bloomfield, Ohio. 5th to 38, Haig's Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana. 6th place to 34, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Olla, North Carolina. 7, Inbody Brothers, Ramblays, Genera, Ohio. 8th place to Haig's Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana. 9th place to 36, Hannah Hewitt, Forney, Texas. And 10 to 31, Jared Connor, South Bloomfield, Ohio. Placing on the yearling U class for the Baby Doll Southdowns, first to 45, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Olla, North Carolina, with Big Woods Donkers, 619, Oregano. Second place to 28, Harper Nichols, Jerseyville, Illinois, with Bombay Baby Dolls, 24 50 Ella. Third place, to entry 47 Knox Heffelfinger, Patoka, Indiana, with Bombay's Baby Dolls MN8399. 4, to entry 31 Riley Donkers, Firebolt, Minnesota. 5 to 36 Joe V. Meisner, Ransom, Illinois. 6 to 35 Harper Nichols, Jerseyville, Illinois. 7 to 34 Hadley, Kinley, and Knox Paulus, West Milton, Ohio. 8th place to 43 Alfred McDaniel, Thorndale, Texas. 9 to entry 37 Reese Woodford, Baldwin, Wisconsin. And 10th place to 38 Caitlin Basil, Baldwin, Wisconsin.
On the Ramblay side, we're going to start with the class with the most feminine female in the class. She's really, really pretty through that front 1/3. She comes out of that neck. She comes out of that shoulders. Just really cool extended sheep. Really like the breed type on that head. Man, when you get behind her, she's straight as an arrow. She stands on good feet and legs, and really appreciate that about her. The Ewan Second's one that most follows her and most type and kind. I'd like to change that flex and that little bit hip structure on her a little bit just to really compete. But man, I love the head. That Ramblay head is just a beautiful head when you look at it. That's what I think of. That's why I grew up looking at those bolts that my uncle used to race. These ewes here in third or fourth, man, you could flip these either for. I think there's a little bit more maturity in these females than the ewes in front of them. Really appreciate their breed type and their styles. They're just a little bit coarser fronted, and I think they just need a little bit more refined to them today to get them any higher. But a really nice set of females. Congratulations.
Here on the Monadale side of
Placing on the Rambouillet Early Junior U Lamb class, first place to 42, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Ola, North Carolina, with Lazy 5, 8263. Second place to 39, Haig's Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana, with Haig 25-1. Third place to 41, In-Body Brothers Rambouillets, Genera, Ohio, and fourth place to entry 40, also In-Body Brothers Rambouillets. Placing on the class of yearling ewes for the Monadale National Show, first place to 28, Cody Jacobson, La Grande, California, with Mum, 2410. Second place to entry 32, J.W. Sims Reisner, Albion, Illinois, with 3J Coors, 1087. Third to 36, Greg Miller, Bruce, South Dakota. Fourth place to 29, Mallory Corzat, Berwick, Illinois. Fifth to 33, Greg Miller, Bruce, South Dakota. 6 to 31, Cody Jacobson, La Grande, California. Seventh place to entry 25, Mallory Corzat, Berwick, Illinois. Eighth place to 30, Lydia Lutman, Waterloo, Illinois. Ninth place to 26, Kelsey Patterson, Hannah City, Illinois. And 10 to 27, Easton Novak, Rolling Prairie, Indiana. Placing on the Baby Doll Southdown Fall Ewe Lamb class, first place to 49, Harper Nichols, Bombay Baby Dolls, 2472, Barbie. Harper is from Jerseyville, Illinois. Second to 27, Alden Foff, Norwalk, Wisconsin, with Bombay Baby Dolls, MN 83994. Third place to 48, Caleb Craig, St. Joseph, Illinois. And 4 to entry 50, Ty Fuller, Clark, South Dakota.
Where we have some really fancy ewe lambs to start out this junior show. I think this ewe lamb is really, really cool. When you get her on the move, she's just nice and stylish and pretty to look at. She profiles nice. She is really thick through that top. You get your hands on that shoulders all the way back to that 13th rib and all the way back to that hip. She got a really cool tail set in her. Just a really fun female to look at. That's one comes to the top pretty easy. The one for me that comes in a second here, really, really like the style and like the fleece on this female. She just wants to get up underneath her a little bit on the side profile. Her top is not nearly as straight as a ewe here in first, but man, that's going to be a big, nice female come next year. You here in third most resembles our you here in first when you look at body type and size and structure and style. She just not enough of her compete with the two in front of her. She's a little bit shorter sided. She's not as thick through that top, and I think her fleece just doesn't carry from front to back as well as I like. You here in fourth, probably the prettiest headed sheep in the class. Man, I just got to change her on that top line. She just wants to get big hipped, high hipped on her and then drop on that tail set. Really, really like the bone size and the structure on her. I just got to change her a little bit when it comes to that back 1/3 of her. But a nice set of females to start to round out this class.
Placing on the Rambouillet Late Junior U Lamb class, first place to entry 47, In-Body Brothers, Rambouillets, Genera, Ohio, with in-body 25-29. Second place to 44, Jared Connor, South Bloomfield, Ohio, with UNI Livestock 0885. Third place to 45, In-Body Brothers, Rambouillets, Genera, Ohio. And fourth to 46, Haig's Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana. Placing on the Slick Sheared Yearling U class for the Monadales, first to 39, Caleb Klein, Claypool, Indiana. Second to 38, Ryan Gann, Leaf River, Illinois. Third to 41, Caleb Klein, Claypool, Indiana. 4 to 40, Ryan Gann, Leaf River, Illinois. And 5 to 37, Lydia Letman, Waterloo, Illinois. Placing on the pair of ewe lambs for the Rambouillets, first place to entry 48, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Ulla, North Carolina. Second to 51, In-Body Brothers, Rambouillets, Genera, Ohio. Third to Jared Connor, South Bloomfield, Ohio. And 4 to Haig's Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana.
I think these Rambouillet exhibitors need a round of applause for the set of females that they brought out today. Just a really, really fun set of females. I think when you start looking down from yearlings down to falls, down to these young lambs, I think there's some really neat things when you look at them. When you look at the breed types on these, you look at the style and the frame. They're all standing on good feet and legs. They're big. They're robust. I think just these breeders are doing just an outstanding job of bringing some fun sheep to sort for me today, and I appreciate that a lot. With that being said, I think there's a couple out here that just strike me pretty hard. I think there's one that kind of separates herself out. Then it gets a little bit tighter for me when it comes to reserve. I'll go out and shake the hand of your champion, reserve champion.
Champion ewe for the Rambouillet show goes to the first place yearling ewe, entry 19, Dwayne Bauk, New York Mills, Minnesota, Dewdrop Farm 24-45. The reserve champion to the first place early junior ewe lamb, entry 42, Vivian Stephenson, Mount Ulla, North Carolina, with Lazy 5, 8263. Placing on the pair of yearling ewes for the E.H. Mattingly National Monadale Show. First place goes to entry 46, Cody Jacobson, LeGrand, California. Second to Greg Miller, Bruce, South Dakota. Third to Greg Mallory Corzat, Berwick, Illinois. 4 to Caleb Klein, Claypool, Indiana. And 5th to Ryan Gann, Leaf River, Illinois. Placing on the Senior U Lamb class for the H. Mattingly National Monadale Show. First to entry 51, Mallory Corzat, Berwick, Illinois, with Corzat 2502. Second to 49, J.W. Sims Reisner, Albion, Illinois, with Mum 2422. Best fleeced animal for the Rambouillet show went to entry 39 out of the early Junior U Lamb class. Haig's Crazy H Club Lambs 25-1. Haig's Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana. Placing on the flock class, first to Vivian Stephenson, Mount Olla, North Carolina. Second to In-Body Brothers, Rambouillet's Genera, Ohio. And third to Haig's Crazy H Club Lambs, Jordan, Montana. Premier exhibitor for the Rambouillet show was In-Body Brothers, Rambouillet's Genera, Ohio. For the national